Hi, I'm Ren.
I'm Sam.
I'm Tosh.
And
we're
we're
the
the
T
T-Swift
Swift sisters.
Welcome back to the T-Swift Sisters podcast, a Taylor Swift fan podcast for Swifties by Swifties. In today's episode, we're talking 1989, the Billboard Hot 100, and Taylor Swift HERstory. Here's this week's Swift Scoop. So let's just jump right in to Taylor Swift HERstory. We have some fun stuff to talk about this week. First of all, I want to know what Taylor Swift has with the last 2 weeks of October and using them to release every single album she's ever had. Because literally what? I mean, obviously not every single one, but she has like 5 of her 10 albums have been released in the last 2 weeks of October. That's nuts to me.
That is really weird. She owns October.
Yeah, I wonder what the significance is. That is why they're calling it Taytober, you know? That's what the children out there call it. Let's start off strong. This podcast is being recorded on October 23rd, but when you guys are listening to it, it is going to be October 25th. So we have a really fun celebration for today, October 25th, 2010. Taylor released her 3rd studio album, Speak Now. Taylor wrote this album entirely by herself within 2 years while touring for Fearless, and the album was ranked 13th. I thought this was fun. It was ranked 13th on Rolling Stone's list of the best albums of 2010. 13 truly is her lucky number.
What are the odds?
But I just want to say, I know that we've talked about Speak Now a few times because we had the Speak Now Taylor's version release. We were Speak Clowning for a while, but it is the anniversary. What do we have to say about the anniversary of Speak Now and the fact that it was released 13 years ago? It was such a time.
Yeah, and I think I feel like that album solidified our friendship because it was the tour we went to together. So every time I think Speak Now, I think Long Live, and I think us at the concert, and I think us going separate ways for high school and stuff. So it just means a lot. And I think I kind of forgot how much I love Speak Now.
Okay.
Until Speak Now Taylor's version, and I was like, oh, this is definitely a top album for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
The re-release was super, I guess, significant in my feelings towards the album. Before Taylor's version, I couldn't really remember what my relationship with the album was at that time, how I was feeling. But this just brought back all the memories, brought back, our concert time. And I just remembered thinking about which song I liked back then. Innocent was one of my tops, kind of random, but I went hard to Innocent back in the day. But now Haunted, I can listen on repeat.
I love that for you. Honestly, Haunted, especially Taylor's version, is so good. We had a whole conversation about it when the album dropped. But yeah, I mean, 2010 was a time. We were just beginning our 8th grade year, and I felt like we very much felt like we were on top of the middle school world, living in our own Taylor Swift fantasy world, just experiencing that together and that album.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along, our next Taylor Swift HERstory. This one's a big one. We have a lot to unload here because it's past/present, everything in between. There's a lot to unpack here. We're getting right into it. 1989. So on October 27th, 2014, Taylor Swift released her 5th studio album, 1989, which was her first full-length pop album. At the 58th annual Grammys in 2016, if you're wondering why it wasn't the Grammys in 2015, because the album came out in 2014 and then was nominated for the 2016 Grammys, it's because the album came out after the Grammys cutoff. I believe it's mid or late September. So that's why Midnights will be in this year's Grammy category and all of that stuff. So that year, 1989, won Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album, making Taylor Swift the first female solo artist to win Album of the Year twice. Her first win was for Fearless in 2010. I actually didn't know that Fearless won Album of the Year. I feel like it's something that I knew in my past life. I just didn't actually remember that. But yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think I knew that either.
But also on October 27th, now this year, almost 10 years later, so 9 years to the day, 1989 gets to come home and we will have 1989 Taylor's version. Can we talk about how we felt when the original album came out and where we are in our lives now 9 years later?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the 1989 release. Like, I don't
Okay.
remember
We were
listening
seniors.
to
We
it.
were like, try to put yourself back in that time. We were seniors in high school. It's October 27th, so it's like a week away from when college applications are due.
Yes, I remember. And I remember that my friend in high school had her own car at the time. So we got the CD from Target, popped it in. First, we like read through the track list and like kind of said, okay, like let's go here, let's go here. And I actually remember Welcome to New York more vividly just because it's like that, big intro.
Right.
Yeah, I remember loving the vibe immediately, liking the artwork on it because having like the physical copy makes a difference. Oh, and the voice memos.
Oh, that's
Yes, my
right.
God.
Thought they were so funny because like the transition from the last song to then going into the voice memos when she literally has her phone and she's like, like it's it was just really funny to hear it like on the car stereo. So that just sticks in my memory. But it was so good. Loved it. I always laughed listening to those memos though.
Me too. I remember that I got to the point where I could actually like recite the memos along with Taylor because 1989 era for me was the first year that I had my own car. Like it was the first album I ever had of Taylor Swift in my own car. So I feel like I was very connected to the era in the sense that like I'm getting ready to go off to college. I'm very much feeling like an adult for the first time. I have my own car. I get to listen. I get to go to Target, buy the album and just pop it in my radio and listen. And I loved that. And I remember being like enthralled by the Polaroids. I love the Polaroids. I'm super excited about the new albums having the Polaroids as well. It took everything in me last week to not purchase all of the variant CDs because I really wanted them, but I couldn't afford them, and that's adulting.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I remember Style was like my lifeline, honestly. My God, I would just like play the song, press back on my CD player, and like go over again because of how much I loved it. Wonderland has always been one of my top favorites. I Wish You Would. We talk about that song all the
Yes.
time because it does not get as much love as it deserves. Honestly, How You Get the Girl. Oh my God.
I love that song.
Song is such a bop. I'm so excited for 1989. Like, I think 9 years later, where I am in my life is not the 1989 era that Taylor had in terms of like relationships and in a new city for the first time. Like, I'm very much in my hometown. I've been in a relationship for a really long time, but I feel the joy of the era. And I think that's what's exciting about the Taylor's version of this era too, is because it's not about the relationships and the media. It's very much about Taylor herself and just feeling young and like enjoying life and what it's worth and like being super poppy about it. So I think we're on par with that.
And you mentioned the Polaroids, and I just remembered that time that this album dropped. Remember when like people would use like fishing wire and hang pictures with what do you call those?
The clothespins.
Yeah.
The clothespins. I did that with the Polaroid pictures. It looked so bad, but in my head, I was convinced this was Pinterest worthy.
Right.
I kept it up for years, and I was like, no, this needs to go on like Tumblr or something because it's so cute.
No, I bet it was cute though, honestly. It was probably
I was gonna say
super
that's
giving
like the aesthetic.
1989. Yeah.
Yeah, but some people did it with like sparkling lights and all that. It was just like a little janky, but it's okay. The Polaroids were cute, so it worked.
I had a friend in high school who was very like graphic design advanced, especially for our time. And for my birthday's in November. So like I've had such a blessing of the time of my birthday because so many Taylor albums are around it and I can't say anything but good things about it. So for my birthday that year, she recreated the Polaroids with pictures of me. So it was like the Taylor Swift Polaroids, but instead of the picture of Taylor, it was pics of me. Super cute.
That's
I'll
so
have to see
cool.
if I can dig them up. I might have them around here somewhere so you
Yeah.
guys can see it. They're super cute. Do you remember from that era as well, your birthday that first year, Sammy, like that 2014? We had this like Christmas castle in Miami.
Oh my.
And we all piled in. I remember we all piled into my car and we drove to like wherever it was, the person's Christmas castle house, and we had like a photo shoot there. And we were just playing 1989 the whole time and New Romantics and karaoke and like
Romantics.
yeah, I really hold that memory close to my heart with that album. Like they are very much directly correlated.
That just unlocked a memory in my brain that I didn't know I had. When you mentioned the castle
The
and driving
Christmas castle.
yeah, but specifically driving in the car listening to New Romantics. It's such a specific memory, but you're right. Oh my God.
And we went to Fuddruckers.
We went to
Oh my
Fuddruckers.
God.
I see, like we felt like we were so adult, and like here we are 9 years later,
Yeah.
and I mean, like so much has changed, but also nothing at all, because that is very much just who we are now, 9 years later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like we would do the same thing right now.
100%.
I'm gonna do it again this year for my birthday.
Okay, so staying on tune with October 27, I want to fast forward a year. And this is very much Taylor Swift and T Swift sisters' herstory. It's a joint herstory for us.
Ooh.
So on October 27, 2015, the T Swift sisters attended the 1989 World Tour in Miami, Florida. We went on the 1 year anniversary of the album coming out. We drove all the way to Miami, Florida on a Tuesday to see the concert, where Taylor Swift had special guests for the show, Dwayne Wade. He gave Taylor a custom Heat jersey that said like Swift and it had the number 13 on it. Welcomed her to Miami. He didn't perform because he's a basketball player, so that wasn't gonna happen. We had Ricky Martin. That was a whole thing. And Pitbull, as we know, if you've been listening to this podcast since we started, Natasha's love for Pitbull, especially during the 1989 era. And that is wild to me that that was 8 years ago. And also, a notable thing in that herstory is that was the original Taylor Swift Eras tour. We were the first ones to do it in our Taylor Swift eras, the 5 of us each going as an individual era for Taylor's 5 albums. Sammy
With posters to match.
with posters to match everything. We were dressed to the nines. Sammy got to be the 1989 Queenie.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also our TV debut
I was about to say.
on our local news.
On our the same local news that I love to come on here and say they were talking about Taylor Swift. Guess what? They were talking about Taylor Swift that night, and we got
And
to be on
us.
the local news. That
Yep.
was truly the birth of the T Swift sisters. You know, if we knew then what we know now, that we'd be on a podcast right now talking about it 8 years later, I would say that I wouldn't be surprised, probably.
If we knew then that go forward to now when we were doing the Capital One promo, like we would be shook.
True.
Okay, we ate in that Capital One promo.
Like
We
a
literally
lot
really
of-
left
did.
no crumbs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And they thought the same because they put us as like the thumbnail. So
the little girls on Deco Drive here in Miami
became the
yeah.
Capital One queens.
became the face of Capital One on one Instagram post all the way at the end. We love to one Instagram, one TikTok, and one Twitter post.
All the socials.
But yeah, so I definitely wanted to share that because that's also a hardcore memory for me too. I think that time,
Mhm.
especially with the 1989 era, the whole like literally going to class, college class, then driving, sprinting down to Miami. Probably
We barely
breaking
made
the
it is the
law.
thing.
Barely
Like we
made
didn't
it.
we didn't even let ourselves like stop to use the bathroom. Like we literally just stopped to only get gas and just zoomed. And it was like a really far drive.
Yeah, because we were very much educational queens. We had to go to class. We had to get our morning classes done, and then we sped off to the races to make the concert, and we did not take our own advice that we've been giving for a year on this podcast. We got there the last possible minute. Everybody was already inside the venue. We had absolutely no chance of meeting Taylor Nation, Andrea, anybody, but it was the
But
best
some
night
people
ever.
did take photos of us outside or with us outside.
People took photos of us, with us. We were on the news, and it was still the best night ever on like a
It was really
Tuesday.
fun.
I loved it. Hello, that was a Tuesday, and we got to go to LA on a Tuesday too. So,
Oh, full circle.
Us
yeah.
and Tuesdays.
Us and Tuesdays, Taylor and Octobers. Okay, staying on track with 1989, we have fast forward that same week. So we're staying in 2015, just a few days later, October 31st, 2015, while on the 1989 World Tour in Tampa, Florida. Taylor Swift dressed up as Olaf for Halloween and brought out Indina Menzel to perform Let It Go. Andrea was in the crowd dressed up as Cruella de Vil, and Scott, these are Taylor Swift's parents, Andrea and Scott Swift, dressed up as Superman. I love a family that loves to participate and dress up. I love that. I think 1989 was the first tour that we really appreciated, accepted, started to see the masses of people dressing up for Taylor concerts. Like, I'll never forget in our Taylor show seeing somebody dressed up as the Empire State Building and the
With
Statue
the
of Liberty.
lights.
Yes, with
Yeah.
the lights. Like, it was insane. And I love that they just took it full throttle and went all out for Halloween. I love it. There's actually, okay, so we're gonna change subjects really quickly a little here. We're gonna stay on Halloween, but I have a question for you guys. There's been some speculation that Taylor and Travis Tayvis might make their Instagram debut on Halloween because there had been some rumors that they were thinking of dressing up as the iconic Barbie and Ken, which I hope that they do because they'd literally murder it, slay.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think Taylor is going to post? Do you think Travis is going to post? Do you think they're going to do one of those joint shared
Joint.
posts? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I want to know.
I think I can definitely see them dressed as Barbie and Ken, like especially with people have already been calling them that as it is, so they might just like lean into it and do it. I'm not sure that like they're I don't know that they're fully saving their like Insta debut for the Halloween post. Like I think
Okay.
they might post because it'll be a cool photo of them together. Like I don't know that it's going to be as planned out as like, oh, like let's post it on Halloween when we take a picture in our costumes.
Yeah,
If
so
that makes-
I don't think it's gonna be like we're saving up our Insta debut to debut on Halloween in our
Okay.
costumes. I think it's gonna be we're dressing up as a couple, we're taking pics, we look hot as heck, we gotta
Let's
post it, and then it ends
Okay.
up being like because they post it, that's what ends up being their Halloween debut.
Right. I can see it in like a multi-picture post. Like
A
they have a
swipe.
party.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a swipe type of post where there's a big party, like Blake and Ryan are there, Gigi's there, like all the big celebrities, and there's a group picture and they happen to be like together. I don't see
Okay.
a singular picture of just them two, besides like Pap's pictures, you know? I don't know. I feel like a big Halloween event and then just like doing a party type thing.
Okay, I have some follow-up questions for your thoughts. So before I ask the follow-up question, I want to say Ryan Reynolds' birthday is today, October 23rd. So what better way to celebrate than with a party on Saturday, aka fake Halloween?
Exactly.
My
True.
follow-up question for you is the carousel swipe post gonna be Travis posting from the party, or let's say Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds posting about the party, and in the swipe we get Taylor and Tayvis crumbs. So
like what happened this past
yes,
week.
yes. So like where they took a picture with somebody and then somebody else posts it because that's not an Instagram debut. I want to see like what his like typical Instagram captions are like. I want to see what his feed is like,
Yes,
you know?
that's also another thing. I don't know his Instagram too well to know like his posting activity, like the frequency of it.
Oh, he
Uh,
posts okay, 6 days ago was the last one, but I think he posts frequently.
okay.
Yeah. And they're like a one-liner.
The captions,
Yeah, from what I see.
I done seen it all. Dopalicious.
It keep it chill like Sauv Blanc.
I definitely feel like Travis Kelce is the clown. Like, I think he's clown enough and playful enough that he'd have some kind of Taylor Swift pun in his caption
Absolutely.
with his Instagram debut of Taylor. It's just a question of, is it going to be him and Taylor, or is it going to be like we get crumbs from other people's posting?
I feel like honestly Taylor might not post just because like 1989 TV is so close to it that I feel like her posts are going to be 1989 TV, and it's not like her Insta is not like that post would kind of cut.
Yeah.
that.
I don't think that she's gonna post. I'm like on the train that if anything is getting posted, it's
I agree with
crumbs
that.
or he posts himself.
I agree with that. I don't, not him having a caption that says new boot goofing. So goofy. It might be like something about a Mojo Dojo Casa house.
I've been trying to see like if he's posted like the party type of pictures or the Halloween type of events before.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't. It's a lot of like the game day pictures, and let me see. And like, you know, the outfit pics.
I need tricks, not treats.
Oh, the opposite. You want treats, not
I
tricks.
want treats, not tricks.
We've been getting tricks. We've been getting crumbs by everyone else. We need the real thing.
No, for real. I can't with them. Did you guys see like how concerned she was when Travis took a hard
Yes,
hit
when
in
he
the game?
I can't stop watching that video because that is the most human reaction, and like the sheer panic in her face when it literally like her face literally quivers in nerves, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the most real emotion. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't stop watching this.
Yeah. Mostly
Like,
I
that's
can't stop
care.
watching it
Yeah.
because they've turned it into a meme, but also same.
Oh.
Everybody's using it as like an Eras Tour meme, like, oh, when I'm watching a grainy live stream and I hear friends break up, friends get married, and it's like
No. Me hasn't seen a single meme about
you
it.
have to see it. They're so funny. I love them. I'm living for them. Like, I feel like it's a little bit, I don't know how I feel about it because Taylor's clearly really concerned.
Yeah.
It's
In
become a
distress.
meme, but like it's cute. It's funny, you know? Our last HERstory story today ties into our last big topic for the day, and that's on October 31st, 2022, Taylor Swift became the first artist in Billboard history to claim the Hot 100's entire top 10 in a single week. So Queen loved it. They were all midnight songs, like only Taylor, honestly. Clearly only Taylor because she's the only one who's ever done it. But now 1 year later, we get to celebrate that Cruel Summer, 4 years after its release, is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Woohoo!
I'm so here for it, but I'm like confused as to how that can happen. Sort like
It streams. So the more people play it, the more it moves up on the list.
okay.
So that's why like Taylor Nation has been promoting it heavily. Also, a factor is that Taylor Nation, I'd say, is probably promoting it to get it over the edge, really. But what's been making people listen to it is the Eras Tour. That is like the iconic Eras Tour song right now because it's very much the opening of the show. Like when people, I'd say people who are probably looking to listen to Taylor are picking that song to listen to first because it's her biggest song right now.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter that it was 4 years ago. It's just that people are deciding right now that they want to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that shoots it all the way up. And now it's the Billboard 100. I mean, top #1 song. And we got a sweet little video from Taylor and Jack Antonoff today talking about it. And all I can say is that they look literally so sus. They're in a recording studio.
Yeah.
What are they up to?
What are they up to? Do you think it's TS11 or Reputation TV? I feel like, I will say, I think Clownery of Me or Not, I think Reputation TV is already done. I think it's
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's gone. It's done. TS11 is probably already done. I'd say if they're in the studio, it's probably Taylor Swift, Taylor's version, or TS12, honestly. That being said, I have no idea how long it takes to create music. So if TS11 is like in 6 months from now, it very well could be TS11.
I think it's TS11.
You think it's TS11?
Yeah, I don't think she's had time to do it. Like maybe she has, I don't know, but I'm just thinking like with re-records, with Eras tour, with everything, with new relationship, with even before that, like I just don't think I don't think TS11 is done. I think maybe it was already started, but I feel like it's TS11 because I also don't really think she would be, maybe she would be, but like I don't think that they'd be in the studio together for like her re-recording of Debut. Like I think
yeah, he's not
she just,
country.
right, like she would just do that on her own or with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's definitely, yeah, not that. So I think it's new album.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with TS11 also. And like honestly it tracks, right? Because we talked about it actually last week that every 2 years Taylor releases a new album. That's the track that she had. Obviously it was a little derailed by Reputation, then we got kind of back on track. We had Reputation 2017 and then we had Lover 2019. It got thrown off a little bit with COVID, so we'll just like erase that, start again at 2022. 2024 is pretty much when Taylor's slated for the next release. And based off what Jack was actually saying in today's video, he's like a song from 5 years ago. For us, Lover's only 4 years old, but for them, 5 years, because it takes them about a year to record the music. They're probably very much recording TS11.
Yeah.
My bank
Now, is
account
it
will
going to
never
be
forgive
named?
me.
Is it going to be named Karma?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that once we get out of like this Karma song Eras
It's
tour,
done.
yeah, like Karma, we're putting Karma to rest. Albums are re-recorded, new
Okay.
chapter kind of thing.
I could see that.
Moving on.
Yeah, I
It
wonder.
doesn't match the lovey vibe for right now anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think Taylor's in that like era of her life. I don't think she really has been since like Karma's like Scott Borchetta, Scooter Braun, kind of like
Yeah.
suck, like my life
Making
is,
them relevant again when they're
Right.
not.
like my life is better off without you. Karma's gonna track you down. But maybe she's recording another Christmas song
Would rep come out before
TS11.
or would all her re-records come out before TS11 or
I feel like we had the same question last year though, before Midnights. Like we were like, oh, Taylor will never put out another brand new album before all of her re-records. And then she's like, re-record. And then we were like, okay, she's
True.
never gonna put out another re-record album while she's on tour. And then she's like, 2 re-records. So my personal opinion, it's not in any way educational, knowledgeable. This is just literally what I think. Reputation first, because she's been hinting at it so much. Like we had the
Okay.
rep Easter eggs in Karma, in the Karma music video. We had the
Outfits.
outfits, all of that is just very much giving rep. So I think rep is going to come out, then maybe TS11, and then probably Debut TV. I think Debut TV
Okay.
is going to be like the end of just like a lot of stuff. A nice like ribbon to tie around it all, because I think she also, I don't know though, like do we think that she wants to stretch out the re-records, because I think she's so tied to them that like she's not breaking out of that. Now she's for the next 2 albums she's associated with the re-records. So maybe she does release Rep and then Debut and then the next album, so that Debut kind of ties up all of that, like the albums, the Eras tour, and now we're just turning a blank page and starting fresh with TS11.
True. Because I also forget that there's still Era's show dates.
Yeah, for a whole other year.
Right. So like maybe she'll use those, like you're saying, to announce eras that already exist, because that's what we're still celebrating. And
Right.
then
Fresh page.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
I agree with that.
So like Eras wraps up next October 2024. Hopefully. I mean, not even hopefully, because I would love for Taylor to tour forever. But in what we have, the knowledge that we have, it wraps up October 2024. Maybe we get a new announcement, like a TS11 announcement before that. And then November of 2024 is when we get the next album.
I can't wait for her to announce Rep, because like what is she gonna do? Is she gonna turn everything like black and snakeskin? Like I don't know, because everything is so happy, with Speak Now, everything, became purple, and then 1989, it was so bright and blue. Rap? I don't know.
I feel like that's why a lot of people are thinking that she's just gonna drop Rep. Like, hey,
Oh
Rep's
my
here.
God.
Like, wake up. Good morning. Big reputation, baby.
You know what I was thinking too? Like maybe it could be added. I don't know how it works, but like added to the end of the concert film or something, like an album release all of a sudden, like on the screen. But I also don't know how long the film is going to be in theaters for that would happen.
Okay, so
But
you're saying like kind of like the way that her screen at Era's lit up with like the
yeah,
announcement. That would
and
be
then
cute since she did it twice at the actual show and then she ties it into the movie.
it makes it like a big deal, but not a big deal at the same time. Like it's just an addition. It gives people more reason to go again to watch the movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're
Just
saying in the actual theaters?
like the move, like how we talked about maybe like the movie will have different. Oh, I don't think you were in that episode. But Renee and I were talking about like maybe that the film before it was released, like maybe there'd be different versions with different surprise songs, or like that it'd be more than just like one standstill movie. So I'm just saying like maybe it's going to be like in addition to the film, either like on the screen at the end or like during the rep era or something. Like I just think there could be some sort of like interactive thing like that with it.
Okay, but we talked about also the Eras Tour film documentary that we've created ourselves that we said is going to happen. What if
You're
it's
right.
there? Because that's definitely, it's either a re-records documentary or an Eras Tour documentary or like a Taylor Swift docu-series. There's something docu coming out in regards to the re-records, the Eras Tour. We know it. They've been filming Taylor since the first day of Eras Tour. They were filming her. They filmed her at the red carpet premiere in LA. They had the camera crew was there. What if she weaves it in there so that people watch that because it's going to be on whatever streaming platform?
Yeah.
And because my only thing with it being in the movie already, I haven't verified this myself, but I've seen it all over the internet. So I'm just going to go with it, take it with a grain of salt. Amazon Prime, you can see the movie already that it's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we have that. And then factual knowledge is that when Taylor made the agreement with AMC, she said, my movie has to be in theaters for 13 weeks before it can move to a streaming platform. So we know we have about 13 weeks from when the movie came out in October. So maybe it could be weaved in there. I don't know. But I think if it's going to be like in a film kind of thing, maybe the docu-series documentary is a good place for it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because then she gets to take us along with it, right? Oh my God, wait. What if there are episodes that, okay, if she has, this is just like, I'm just throwing noodles at the wall and see if they stick here. We have the Eras Tour film coming out on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime also does shows. She already has The Summer I Turned Pretty. She's like a big deal in that show. What is that? Amazon Prime show. Okay?
Mhm.
The way that they did The Summer I Turned Pretty is a weekly show. So you had to wait every Friday at midnight for the show to come out and a new episode to load up. Jason Kelsey, this is just throwing this one in there. His documentary is also on Amazon Prime, right? So we know that Amazon Prime and Taylor are probably they're in cahoots.
Mhm.
What if we have the docu-series as a weekly episode thing? New episode comes out every week, and one of those weeks is the announcement for Rep Taylor's version. That way you have people that you keep bringing them back so they're watching the show every time. And then maybe like the wrap up is like, by the way, Rep Taylor.
Yeah. And then everyone would kind of watch it at the same time because it's a release of a new episode. Interesting.
Hold on, I need to apply my clown makeup.
It's a good idea. It could be possible.
I'm just
We're gonna be so far off, but I'm gonna hope she's gonna
Oh my
announce
God.
it like
At a show on
at a
tour.
show.
Okay, but we thought we were so far off for 1989 Taylor's version, and we were so spot on. The only thing that we were wrong about was when the actual album was coming out. We literally said August, last show in LA, she was going to announce Taylor's version. We have the receipts for that. It's on our Instagram page. So, you know, we've been around long enough. Maybe the Easter eggs are Easter egging.
And we're Easter egg hunting.
We are super Easter egg. We're like right now digging through a bush where there's not one egg.
Yeah, no, the golden egg is like all the way over there, but we're too busy on this bush.
We're digging in a bush in Halloween, and this is very much an Easter April egg.
Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll know soon. I mean, that's the fun of getting to live through the re-record. So, oh, I can't wait though. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for Friday. And that is also kind of wrapping up today. And next week we get to come back and talk about what our favorite songs off the album are, how we feel about the new songs, the old songs. I can't.
Woohoo.
Yay.
I can't.
I
We're
feel like we
very
just
much
did
entering.
this.
Yes,
Really
for Speak
though.
Now, right?
Here we go again.
Fun times.
Crazy. But that pretty much wraps up this week's episode, guys. So before we log off, please remember to follow our podcast on any of your listening platforms. Just tap that little plus button next to our podcast name and it'll start giving you notifications about when we have new episodes. You'll stay up to date with all of that stuff. And please give us a rating if you can. Please also remember to follow us on social media for live Taylor Swift news updates like merch drops and Tayvis content. Love it. Love them, honestly. They make my heart sing.
Okay.
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at TSwiftSistersPod and Twitter at TSwiftSisters. Thanks for savoring this week's Swift Scoop. We hope you've had your fill of all things Taylor Swift, and we'll see you next week when we have 1989 right here on the T Swift Sisters podcast. Bye.